Right under our feet in every single city, there's this hidden world of pipes and pumps. It's this silent, incredibly complex network that we totally depend on every day, but we almost never think about it, at least not until something goes wrong. And this is about more than just plumbing. It's an unseen war for water, and we're about to take a look at who, or maybe what, is on the front lines. So let me ask you a question that probably sounds a little weird. What does your city's geology have to do with your toilet? The answer is, well, pretty much everything. The very ground your city is built on, it dictates this constant, invisible war being fought inside the pipes of your home. The soil, the weather, even the trees in your yard. They're all characters in a story that you probably never even knew was happening. See, here's the big secret. Plumbing isn't some one-size-fits-all deal. Nope, every city's system is totally unique, shaped by its own local environmental challenges. And to really get our heads around this, we're going to zoom way in on one particular place where the fight is, well, it's especially intense: Miami Gardens, Florida. And we're not just talking about pipes getting old and breaking down. This is an ongoing conflict. In a place like Miami Gardens, the very foundation of the city puts just immense pressure on its water systems. You can think of it like every city has this unique underground fingerprint, and that fingerprint creates a daily struggle against nature itself. Okay, so who are the bad guys in this story? What are these environmental forces that are waging war on Miami's infrastructure? Well, it's not just one thing. It's more like a whole team of aggressors, all working together to create what is basically an underground gauntlet for the city's plumbing. So here they are, Miami's 4 key environmental attackers. First up, you've got the ground itself, a porous, really unstable limestone bedrock. Then, you've got these super aggressive tree roots that literally never stop growing. Add to that corrosive salt water and humidity that just eats away at metal. And to top it all off, the insane seasonal pressure of hurricane season. Each one is a huge problem on its own, but you put them together, it's a perfect storm of plumbing nightmares. Let's dig into the ground itself first. South Florida is built on porous limestone. The best way to picture it is like a giant hard sponge. This means the ground is constantly soaked with water and it's not very stable. As it shifts and settles, it puts this constant grinding stress on the pipes buried within it. And that leads to cracks and even something called slab leaks, which is when a pipe breaks right under the concrete foundation of your house.
Total mess.
Next on the list, the trees. Now, in most parts of the country, tree roots kind of go dormant in the winter. Not in Miami. No way. The warm soil means they grow aggressively all year long, and they are actively hunting for the water and nutrients inside your sewer lines. They'll find a tiny crack, worm their way in, and then expand, creating these massive blockages that can bring your entire household to a grinding halt. Then there's the chemical attack that's happening 24/7. The local water is hard, it's full of minerals from all that limestone, and it's getting hit with saltwater intrusion from the ocean. Just look at this quote. The aggressive water chemistry literally eats away at appliances like your water heater, cutting their lifespan in half. That is a seriously costly and corrosive reality for everybody living there. And finally, you have the seasonal siege. During hurricane season, the amount of rain that falls is just staggering, and it completely overwhelms the city's drainage systems. So, where does all that water go? When there's nowhere else for it, the pressure actually reverses, and it can force raw sewage back up the pipes and into people's homes. It's a genuine public health nightmare. So, with this forefront war going on, a generic off-the-shelf approach just is not going to cut it. To survive Miami's underground gauntlet, you need a specialized playbook. You need specific tools and some deep, deep local knowledge. So let's take a look at what that unique defense actually looks like. To fight back against those relentless, year-round roots, a simple dream snake just isn't enough. I mean, that thing just pokes a temporary hole through the clog, which the roots are going to fill right back up. The real solution is something called hydrojetting, using water at incredibly high pressures to literally scour the inside of the pipe clean. It blasts away roots and mineral buildup completely for a fix that actually lasts. And the materials you use for the pipes themselves, that matters a ton too. Old school galvanized steel, it just can't handle the humidity and corrosive water. It literally rusts from the inside out. That's why the pros there have to use modern materials like PEX and copper, which are specifically engineered to resist exactly this kind of chemical and environmental assault. And here's where this whole problem can become a major public health risk. It's a phenomenon called backflow. It's a really hazardous scenario where contaminated water from inside a house reverses course and gets into the clean public water supply. Because of Miami's intense storm pressure and high water table, this is a constant threat. So preventing it isn't just a good idea, it is absolutely mandated by law to keep everyone safe. Now, knowing what to do is one thing, but actually delivering on that promise when a pipe bursts at 3 in the morning, that's a whole different ballgame. The constant threat of failure means the entire service model has to be built for pure speed and efficiency. So how does it actually work when everything goes wrong? Believe me, when your house is actively flooding, every single minute feels like an hour. That's why the local standard for emergencies is a 60-minute on-site arrival guarantee. The entire process is built for speed. An emergency call comes in, the nearest technician is dispatched within minutes, and they are on your doorstep, ready to work within the hour. And in a super stressful situation like a burst pipe, the process absolutely has to be built on transparency. That means a real person answers your call 24/7. It means you get a clear, flat rate price before any of the work begins, so there are no awful surprise charges later. And finally, the repair itself is backed by a guarantee. It's a system designed to build trust when the stakes are incredibly high. So all of this, the specialized tools, the 24/7 readiness, the tougher materials, well, it all comes at a cost. This underground battle has a very real, very direct impact on homeowners' wallets. Let's actually look at what that means for the average person. Remember that corrosive water we were just talking about? Here's what it looks like in real numbers. Nationally, you might get a good 10 to 12 years out of your water heater, but in Miami Gardens, you're lucky to get 6 to 8. Think about that. That means you're replacing a major, expensive appliance almost twice as often as people in other parts of the country. And the costs, they don't stop with just the repair itself. Then you've got permit fees, the cost of ripping out and then repairing drywall just to get to the pipes, restoring your entire yard after they have to excavate a sewer line, and maybe the biggest one, the massive expense of fixing unpermitted work right before you can sell your house. These hidden costs can spiral out of control fast. So when you boil it all down, the simple act of turning on your faucet is really the end result of this relentless, expensive, and incredibly local war. It's a constant fight against a city's unique geology, its botany, its chemistry, and its weather, all happening 24 hours a day right under our feet. It really makes you think, doesn't it? Miami's fight is against porous limestone and hurricanes. But what about your city? Is it fought against clay soil that expands and contracts? Is it against freeze-thaw cycles that crack iron pipes? Or maybe just aging infrastructure from 100 years ago? What unseen war is happening right now, just beneath your feet?